Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Molly here, and I want to talk about how I get my books, acquire my books, because I find the subject fascinating. A lot of people have different ways of doing this. I've seen, especially on different booktubers and like Carter Sullivan talking about this. So I just find this really fun and fascinating, just listening to what people do and how they read their books and get them. So let's get started. So this is how I acquire and buy my books typically. So let's get started. So for fiction, we're gonna go through 3 different subjects: fiction, nonfiction, and graphic novels / manga, because I like a variety. Your girl, you know, wants to read interesting stuff. So let's get started. So for fiction, I usually buy from the writer that I want to support, like Rick Riordan. I just love the Percy Jackson series. But it also depends on how old the book is. So I love Cassandra Clare, and typically I will purchase from her. But I also decided to thrift this book because it was at my local thrift store. I was like, why not? So it definitely depends on how old or like the writer for me for fiction. I really do enjoy reading fiction. So there's that. Then we will go next to nonfiction. So typically I will thrift my nonfiction because I don't know if I would find the subject fascinating or like the writing too dry or not, like interesting. So typically, like a lot of down here, like deep work, like Cal Newport, I have thrifted. So I think it's a great way to discover some really good nonfiction. Like I always hear different YouTubers talk about different nonfiction books, so I'll keep a list in the back of my head on which ones they talk about, and I will thrift them. But there are some writers that I want to support, like the YouTuber Ali Abdaal. So I decided to buy his book. So it definitely depends. Like too, if it's like a certain celebrity, I will definitely buy their book. Like I really want to get my hands on Jennette McCurdy's book. But so it definitely depends. Like again, like fiction, I do enjoy reading nonfiction, especially like biographies and like productivity and such. So as you can tell. But yeah, that is for the nonfiction side. Now, graphic novels and manga are really interesting. So, typically, if I had enjoyed the anime or like grew up with the anime, watched the anime, I will read the manga if I'm really interested, like purchasing it. Like if it's a new version of it, like Cardcaptor's Clear Card. This is a sequel to Cardcaptor Sakura. And I believe so anyways. I have not read it yet. I have loved Cardcaptors growing up. So I wanted to buy Clear Card. So I have bought a couple of them. And then same with Kumi Can't Communicate. I enjoyed watching the anime, so I decided to buy the first at least manga to see if it's a little different or not. I'm really interested to see how the manga is. So there's that. But and then same with, I grew up with Sailor Moon, so I had to get the Sailor Venus series. I'm really interested to read this. But so like if I'm really interested in the manga, I will read it. But the difference between manga and graphic novels, because as you can tell, there's so many of the volumes of it. If a manga is at the library, I will use my local library and support my local library. In like high school, middle school, high school, I read Fushi Yugi through my local library, and typically if you go to the library, they will have a lot of the more mainstream manga like Fushi Yugi, Inuyasha, Sailor Moon, Fruits Basket. I've seen a lot of Fruits Basket, guys, at the library. Like Ranma Half. So if you want to read like any old school manga that are really popular, use your library, especially too with all the volumes. I feel like it takes up a lot of space space as much as I want to support the artist. But I had to remind myself, you're supporting the local library. So there's that. The library is an amazing place to buy books. I know a lot of people use it to actually get their books, and I hope to use my local library someday to actually read fiction and nonfiction books. I know you can use a Libby through the Kindle, and I have just tried like 1 second of it, and it was really awesome. You get 2 weeks, I believe, to read the book, which is why I don't typically use Libby, because I'm a feeler reader. Like, want to be able to want to read it and take my time, so enjoy the process of reading, which is why I don't typically use the library. But there's so many good books at the library, guys. Like, I highly recommend the library. It's just so amazing. It's just supporting the local library, and they have so many resources for you to use too, and so many books to be discovered. But that is how I typically get my books. It's just the way I do it as of right now. To save some money, I do enjoy thrifting books. If I see a book at the thrift store when I drop something off, or I just feel like, you know, looking inside one day, I will get the book if it's in really good condition. Like, I will typically look through the nonfiction, make sure it's not highlighted. I'm just one of those people. But if it's in perfect condition, not highlighted, I will just grab it. Why not? Save some money, like I said. And same with some fiction too. Like, if I've been meaning to read a certain fiction, I will thrift it if it's there and it's in good condition. So there was a couple I saw, but I wasn't gonna get it right away. So it was like part of a series, some of them. But yeah, that is how I typically get my books, acquire my books, what have you. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Feel free to leave a comment down below how you typically acquire your books, read your books, because I'm very curious. Everyone, I feel like, has a different strategy, which I find very fascinating. And other than that, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, friends!